Well, if you haven't followed this saga, because that's really what it is, Elon Musk split up from OpenAI after being a key part of it when Microsoft bought into a nearly 40% stake. So he didn't believe in OpenAI being commercialized. He believed in it being for nonprofit and the good of humanity because he saw that AI was our future and it would change the entire world. So Elon Musk is a visionary and he saw that. So whenever he separated from OpenAI years ago, there was a letter that was signed by him and several other notable figures where they kind of pleaded with OpenAI to, hey, make sure you're doing the right thing here. And they kind of put this call out there saying, this is something that's really scary if it falls in the hands of the wrong people. So they saw AGI, ASI, which is artificial general intelligence, artificial superintelligence. They saw all these things coming, and it was just a matter of time. So what do we see in the news again? But Elon Musk actually sued OpenAI. And this just happened last week. We're talking March, the first week of March right now, 2024. So he just sued them. And I want to share something from the lawsuit that I thought was particularly interesting, where he quoted the CEO of Microsoft and brought up something in particular that was quite interesting. So let's see. If you are a visual listener, well, I guess we can say that, right? A visual listener, you're watching and you're listening. Then you're seeing on my screen that the browser cannot access my screen. I was just told.
Yeah. You're not. I think I know what to say.
Oh, that's the wrong one. So before we went live, I probably have never seen such a comedy of tech errors. Like the screenshot I had pulled up to share with you guys was suddenly incredibly blurry and you couldn't read it. Jeff tried to send it to me and I couldn't download it. So I had to airdrop what he sent to me from my phone. And here we are talking about, AI potentially ruling the world. Technology is great until it's not. But if we look at the actual lawsuit, there's some pretty interesting things that Elon Musk brought up. Now, what's interesting to me is he didn't have to do this. This is really his time and money that, some could say he's wasting. He didn't have to put this lawsuit together, but he did. And he sued OpenAI last week. So this is what he said in the lawsuit that was really interesting to me. He said that Microsoft's CEO boasted that it would not matter if OpenAI disappeared tomorrow. He explained that we have all the IP rights and all the capability. He said, we have the people, we have the compute, we have the data, we have everything. We are below them, above them, around them. If that doesn't creep you out, I don't know what would. It creeped me out for sure to read that. So then Elon Musk went on to say in this lawsuit, which you can Google it and read it for yourself, it's out there. He said, this case is filed to compel OpenAI to adhere to the founding agreement, which keep in mind Elon Musk was a part of, and return to its mission to develop AGI, artificial general intelligence, for the benefit of humanity, not to personally benefit the individual defendants and the largest technology company in the world. So he's worried that AGI will fall into the wrong hands. And I've been deep in the rabbit hole exploring what AGI is and what our world will look like post AGI. AGI is expected to be out by 2026. Is it out now? There's theories, speculations. Jeff and I made some predictions a couple episodes back. You should definitely listen to that and catch Jeff's awesome Lego head analogy, which is a great way to break it down in a way where you can understand it. But essentially, whenever the internet happened, the world had, for the first time, a nervous system where we could, much like in our body, everything communicated to itself through channels. So the entire world can get online. Some, of course, countries don't have those capabilities yet, but we're seeing that overcome more and more. The truth is the majority of the world is actually online as we speak. Billions and billions of people came online in the last year alone. So with the majority of the world online, now we're on the precipice of what could be a sentient thinking capability attached to that nervous system, which is like a brain coming online for the first time. And that is AGI. So if we have this autonomous brain that has all the knowledge of the world in it, because the internet's been around for a decade, that's why these large language models exist, then we have something so infinitely powerful that it's really important to figure out what the heck to do with it. And so since seeing this actually occur, there's been, I would say, I want to say it's an answer, but it's also not, because I don't know if OpenAI just did this for the press, but they did respond with this. So if you are, I'm going to use that cool phrase again, visual listener. If you are a visual listener, you're seeing on screen this article on fortune.com where, actually it's this article, where OpenAI signed an open letter to build AI responsibly. And this came days after Elon Musk sued the company, again, for putting fraud ahead of people, commercializing what should have been a nonprofit entity. So Sam Altman, who is the CEO of OpenAI, was in Switzerland last month where he talked about this. He's very adamant. If you listen to him, he's very adamant about what seems like, a safe approach. But again, like how much of this is pressed, we got to be critical thinkers here and look at all angles. But they did sign this open letter. And in the letter, they talk about the impact of AI and they compare it to things like the printing press, electricity, the internet. And the letter says the balance of its good and bad impacts on humans will be shaped through the actions and thoughtfulness we as humans exercise. And it's our collective responsibility to make choices that maximize AI's benefits and mitigate the risks for today and for future generations. And here's where there's a bit of a red flag for me. The letter didn't have any specific actions. That's where it stopped. So that, to me, just sounds like press. I realized I wasn't sharing that at all. My screen didn't work again.
Technical difficulties. It's been happening all day. Facebook was down earlier. Technology today is not working.
Yes, exactly. But this is the article I was sharing on fortune.com where they were saying that the letter stopped after stating it's our responsibility to make choices that maximize AI's benefits and mitigate the risks. And that was it, right? So there wasn't anything else that said, hey, here's what we're going to do. Here's a very specific plan of action to make sure this is not commercialized, to make sure that the greed of a big corporation doesn't drive it, and to make sure that we're for the people. And it's interesting because when we saw Sam Altman so quickly ousted, and what was interesting is all the employees were ready to follow him. I feel like they didn't anticipate that. But then Satya goes and says something like that, where it doesn't matter if the employees go because we have the IP. And that just sounds like, Gru from Despicable Me. So that sounds a little sketch to me. I'll hand it over to you, Jeff. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I have quite a few thoughts on this. So the comparison of comparing AGI to the printing press is like comparing like a kindergarten kid running for track and like a professional athlete that's running like a super fast mile. Like the comparison's so large. Like it's going to disrupt every single industry. Printing press is only disrupting one. We're talking about everybody. And a worldwide disruption. That's how big the technology is. And one thing is it's very easy to just think about like, Elon Musk is just suing OpenAI for optics, or he's suing them because of the nonprofit. And the reality is that we have no definitions on AGI, really, like no standardization across the board definition of AGI. And if we look at the lawsuit, it's up to OpenAI's discretion to determine whether or not they have AGI. That was part of their agreement. They're working with Microsoft that they would say we have achieved AGI, and then Microsoft would no longer have access to their models beyond that point. So it is interesting. Well, it's in OpenAI's benefit to say they don't have AGI, but the thing about this lawsuit, it's going to uncover a lot of stuff. And this is all about optics in the form of OpenAI trying to not be as transparent as they need to be. And the other thing about this trial is that it's a jury trial, and it will most likely be televised, and it will most likely be streamed on the internet. So we're going to get to see all of this take place, and there's going to be drama. You can bet there'll be a ton of drama coming out from Elon Musk and from OpenAI and Sam Altman, and going into what exactly happened when Sam Altman was fired, what caused that, and whether or not they have AGI. And we could see a standardization come from this, where we actually have a true definition of AGI, and we can classify things around that actually protect individuals. So if you're somebody that's like, I'm very, very concerned about the future of the entire population of the world because of AGI and the implications of it, this is something for you to watch, because you'll be able to have a standardized definition of what it is, if we're there yet, and be informed to make decisions when it comes to talking to your local representatives, on voting, on even just having general knowledge about this technology. It's going to be very important that you pay attention and look into this stuff. So if I go to one of the articles that we have here, this is an opinion piece from The Verge, and I think it's pretty funny. Let me go ahead and share my screen.
You never know what you get with The Verge. Oh, and look, my camera just went out.
Technology, am I right?
Oh my goodness.
We're the age of AI, folks. All right.
Really advanced here.
It says Elon Musk's legal case against OpenAI is hilariously bad. The richest man in the world has an increasingly abstract idea of what contracts are. Now, the reason why that they're saying this is because they believe, from their opinion, that in the contract, OpenAI is right. That's basically what they're saying. But I don't think that Elon Musk necessarily cares at all. I don't think that this is something that is done so that way he has a grudge against OpenAI or something like that. I think it's purely business.
I agree.
I think this is one of those things where he's trying to get info on his competitor. He's trying to ruin reputation of OpenAI and Sam Altman, and it's in its best interest to do so. And I think that it's a masterclass from Elon Musk when it comes to things like causing chaos. He's very, very good at causing disruption and chaos and confusing people on what his true intentions are. If you were paying attention to the whole Twitter fiasco at all and his acquisition of Twitter, that was so chaotic. People were saying, oh, he wants Twitter. No, he's trying to back out of Twitter. No, he wants Twitter again. Well, why does he want Twitter? What is their intentions with Twitter? It was a mess across the board. And we're going to see this again. And I can bet everything that there's going to be a ton of chaos leading up to rumors and allegations coming out from even just the stuff that we saw inside of the lawsuit. And I don't want to get too deep into it because it is a long paper, long legal document, but there is a lot there. If you're a YouTube listener, we'll try to include a link to that lawsuit in the description. So make sure you look out for that. But yeah, that's pretty much my take on it. I think that this is completely strategic. I think it's all for business. OpenAI has a lot to lose, and Elon Musk has almost nothing to lose from this lawsuit.